कोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देवा सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा. It is our culture to remember the Almighty before everything we do or start. So let us begin this program seeking the blessings and presence of the Almighty. I would like to invite our respected dignitaries for the lamp lighting.
Mr. Neeraj Pal sir, Mayor Bhilai, for accepting our invite and sparing time for this occasion. I would like to thank our beloved Chairman sir, Shri Sanjay Ru.
Of the most courteous person I have ever met since now, being so much, he has a more than 60 credits.
Inauguration of CBCT machine, and within the college, various departments are getting used this facility. And see, let me tell you, if you install a machine in any of the college, even the neighboring dentist also you can target. The chairman was telling how to private practitioners, but when you are well versed with the machine as well as software, you can definitely give a competition with the imaging protocol and with the reporting. With that introduction, one second. It's a small city in the state of Karnataka with a population about 5 lakhs. Even though it's a small city, we have international airport, we have sea and ports, as well as railway connectivity to major cities in the region of in different part of the country. It is considered as an education hub. In the small city of Mangalore, we have about 5 dental colleges and about 8 medical colleges. Likewise, since few are universities, we have pharmacy, nursing, physiotherapy and allied health sciences colleges. So I did my BDS from A.B. Shetty Dental College, 1996. It's a rich in culture, Mangalore. Okay, some of you might have seen these pictures. It's called Tiger Dance. In Navratri times, this is very famous in Mangalore. You can see people with the groups walking around in the street and dancing, and we are happy for that. So Mangalore is rich of cultural activities. This is called Daivaradhane. We have a name called Tulu Nadu for Mangalore because the regional language is Tulu. So Daivaradhane is worshipping the spirit. So these activities also keep going on in Mangalore. And of course, Yakshagana. It's one of the favorite cultural activity of Mangalore and around. Few temples in and around Mangalore. So those who visit Mangalore, definitely few temples will be there in their itinerary. So people go there to visit temples especially. And this is a bullock race. Okay, this is also unique in this part of Mangalore. I welcome you all to visit Mangalore, and when you come, please visit me as well. Thank you. So we have many beautiful beaches in Mangalore. Yeah. Some beaches we can do surfing and so many activities going on. And sometimes they arrange kite festival as well. So kite festival, many people participate in kite festival. National and international kite festival people will come and they will enjoy the show. Of course, yeah. Mangalore is famous for its delicious food. Okay, so let me name from Kori roti and Bangude fish fry. Since the coastal area, okay, famous for seafood. Better information we can get in 3D image, that is CBCT. And some of the application of CBCT images in different fields of dentistry, as well as few limitations. I can call it as a limitation of CBCT because no machine can be 100% equipped with all the modalities of imaging. But of course, you should know where we can use CBCT and in which aspects or which situation we have to avoid CBCT. That's it. Roentgen. So we all should remember this name as well as his face, because to diagnose and further treatment planning. 2D imaging was a backbone of diagnosis for many years. Okay, so see, now the introduction was CBCT has taken place in 1996, but yeah, I was talking to Mr. Akshay of Villa. So he said about in 2010 or something it started, people started buying the machine in different private setup as well as in colleges. So almost since 25 years or 26 years we are hearing about CBCT, but our knowledge in the 3D imaging dentistry is very limited. More and more CDE programs should happen, and whenever a college buys a CBCT machine, okay, maximum number of dentists should get benefited out of it, because if you ask the installed person who is in charge of CBCT, any number of CBCT can be taken in a day. So there is no limit for that. Okay, so for 10 years or something continuous, then only you may have to change the sensor or X-ray tube, but nothing will happen. So n number of scans can be taken using CBCT machine, but the awareness should happen. Okay, how CBCT is different from CT? Definitely the cost wise, okay, it's bit lesser or much lesser compared to CT machine, and the technique of taking CBCT scan is quite different. So a patient will be standing, or patient can comfortably sit, and panel and X-ray detector rotates around 360 degree around the patient's head, and if a patient comes with a wheelchair, okay, still we can make the patient to sit and take. So it is more comfortable, and the space requirement also. If you have a place with 7.5 feet height and about 4.5 feet length, you can conveniently accommodate a CBCT machine. That's why we see some CBCT machines within the clinic setup. So this is the main difference, and the radiation dose and scanning time is also less compared to CT scan. This is in CT machine we use fan-shaped beam and captures a series of axial plane slices from continuous spiral motion. See, this is a detector here, and this is a source of X-ray. When it is CBCT, we have fan-shaped beam, and we use flat panel detectors. These are the main difference from CT and CBCT. So now let us go through some 2D images. This is all-time favorite for diagnosis. Okay, that's why we have at least IUP machine in every dental clinic. It greatly helps in our diagnosis. So we were used to this. We can see the enamel, dentin, pulse space, and all the roots, some floor of the maxillary sinus, some of the anatomical landmarks. Okay, when you take a radiograph for to assess the root canal treated teeth or caries, we can see the caries and grossly distracted crown. The pulse space is obturated. The palatal canal can be seen. So what is lacking here is the third dimension. We can see the palatal canal here, but we don't know whether the palatal canal is actually within the sinus, buccal to it, or palatal to it. This information is missing, correct? So that is where the 3D imaging comes in role. Occlusal radiograph, we can see an impacted canine here, but we don't know whether the canine is causing the root resorption of anterior teeth, whether this canine is within the maxillary sinus or within the nasal cavity. That information is missing. Panoramic radiograph, all-time favorite. Okay, we get to see maxillary sinus, condyle, coronoid process, upper and lower teeth, jaw, styloid process. So every oral maxillofacial structure is just opened up and given in a single plane. So we see impacted teeth here, all the third molars. Now if I enlarge this area, what we see is dilacerated root. See here, root is curved, and we can see inferior alveolar canal here. It looks like it is overlapping or within, but whether it is really within the inferior alveolar canal, root apex, or lingual to it or buccal to it, this information is missing with this 2D image, right? Okay. So what is the limitation of 2D image? It is a superimposition and distortion. If you take a IOPA radiograph, you give angulation, so that there will be chances of magnification or shortening, right? And we are focusing the cone outside of the oral cavity, so there is sinus here, there is bone here, then the teeth comes. So all these three planes come in a single plane and it is presented to you. So that is a limitation, we can't see the third dimension. If you place an implant and after implant placement you want to see how the implant is. So IOP, if you take two areas, you can see what is that? The length and the height. So the length and the height. What is missing is width. So why width is important? We have different anatomical landmarks when you place an implant. What is that? Mandible. In mandible, the main thing is you have to see is the inferior alveolar canal and the nerve. So what is a safe height for implant placement? Starting from the crest up to the inferior alveolar canal, this information is needed. For that we need a 3D scan. Adding to that, the shape of the bone, it looks like it is nice here, but that could be a different shape of the bone. It could be square shaped, it should be conical, or there could be concavities in the mandibular posterior region. All this information is available only if you take a CBCT scan. If you don't take a CBCT scan, there is a risk of perforation like this. So looking at 2D image, if you place an implant, it could be concave and there could be a complication of perforation. This is where we need CBCT for implant placement. IOPA radiograph gives us quite okay images, but if you have image coming like this, we will like it, right? See, we can see the crown in different section, orifice of the canals, okay, middle third of the root, apical third of the root, and periapical area. So when you have the facility to see all this information, why can't you use it? So CBCT provides us the missing third dimension. We all learned that. Now basically we have to understand, before using the software we should know three planes of the body. One is coronal and another one is axial and sagittal. Okay, so what is coronal? If a patient is standing like this, if you move this glass from back to front or front to back, that is a coronal view. Okay, if a patient is standing like this from right to left, left to right, if you move the glass plane, that is sagittal. Okay, and from top to bottom or bottom to top, if you move the glass slide, what we see, that is the axial plane. So each CBCT machine comes with a software. What we see there when you enter the oral medicine department is a hardware, right? Okay, along with that the suppliers will provide software also. We need to know how to use the hardware part, we need to know how to use the software part. So let me see how I can explain you this. See this video. Just an example of software part. See, this is the axial section. We can scroll and see through all the sections of the dentofacial structure. So this is the axial section. This is the coronal section from front to back. You can see the nasal cavity, sinus, maxillary arch, mandibular arch. This is a sagittal section from side. Okay, how we take lateral cephalogram radiograph, similar from side to side. Along with that, we have an opportunity to check for a 3D reconstruction view. This is a 3D reconstruction. What is there here is the Naru. Naru doesn't come within the scan, so we get to see the space where we can draw. That has to be drawn using the software. I will show you that later. The nerve will not be visible within the scan, I just told you. So if you see this, mandibular CBCT is done, and you can see the canal right here. So this is the boundary of the canal, similarly in the other side. So this is a cross section. If you just cut the mandible and see like this, that is a cross section. We can see the Naru area within that. Okay, so if this is one of the methods of drawing the Naru. Different softwares, different machine provides a different method, but this is how basically it is. Okay, so you just try to locate the mental exit, then keep drawing the line. So see, you can see Naru is being drawn in the panoramic section here. While seeing that, please see the bone. See, it varies. You know, it's a flat here, then it is elongated. So all this information you are going to get in CBCT. Once you come closer to the mandibular foramen, you stop, and beautifully the Naru is drawn within the image. This is an implant screen. Just to give you an example, what we see there is a panoramic reconstructed view. If at all you are planning to place an implant here, okay, these around 4 lines I have drawn here, and this is a representation of, this is a cross section. In this area, if at all you need to look into the bone height and width, okay, there is a possibility in the scan. We can, when we roll this cross section line in the panoramic, here also it moves. So this is showing the lower premolar and upper edentulous space here. Yeah, it has come to 4.7 area now, and this is the height and width which is available here. Software provides us to place a virtual implant also, and you can rotate it and you can reposition it wherever you want, and there is an option to place a crown also. Reconstructed panoramic image is this. So whenever we take a CBCT scan, it has an option to reconstruct the panoramic reconstruction if it is a full mouth CBCT case. Okay, so if you restrict, like if a case comes for a endodontic evaluation, we can just restrict to that field of.
Can we do for engine analysis? And this is
Have the provision to convert diagram to STL for printing.
See, in
For
the,
STL,
yeah, that requires addition of the software. You know, addition of the
not in the
software.
existing one.
Yeah. If at all, if any implantologist is planning for a STL file and go for a guided implant surgery, then we can provide a DICOM file, and who is having the software, we can send the DICOM file
They will
through.
convert it.
Yeah. We can just send the DICOM file to them, and they will, with their software, they will convert it into STL file. Yeah, that option is there. Yeah.
Do you have any software for that, like to compare two implants, two different type of implants we have there? So to do the measure which osseointegration, which has had a better osseointegration. So do we have any qualitative assessment for that?
See, yeah, what happens is means one implant you place and take a
Like, we are
CBCT
using two different type of implants.
implant.
And we want to see around which the osseointegration has been better.
Okay, means in the
The
same
qualitative, yeah.
same patient you have placed one implant, and in another site another implant.
Right, we have placed a different implant.
Okay, osseointegration, which is better.
So can we see the quality of
See, yeah, definitely. We can measure the Hounsfield unit of the bone, the density of the bone, but they say that it is not as accurate as compared to the CT scan. So that area, even if when you select when the machine comes, it is not very accurate and things on dialog comes. So it is rough estimation can be obtained, but not exactly. That is another small limitation. Hounsfield unit is not very accurate, but a rough estimation. Yeah.
we can get an
external view. So when we look at this implant, on an average, everything is covered till here. So we are in this region. So there are divisions of each region. B2, B3, B4. So here is the B3 region because the red portion is coming inside this region. Okay. Similarly for external, we are able to see the blue artery which is arm over here. So this is the external view. Outside the implant or out of the bone body. So again that is also in the D3 region. So the implant placement is done in the D3 region. Everyone is able to see this window on their laptop. In this you can see there are 4 information mentioned. So the first one is the slice number. This is 26. So this region has 26 right in the middle. You can see all the slices over here. 25, 26, 27 like this. So the first thing is slice number. Just below that you see B and L. B is muscle, L is region. Okay. Then you have T. T is thickness of that slice. So we have made 1 mm of slices.